Well, welcome in to My Dogs Are Barking on MPW Digital, presented by Heath Riles Barbecue, and a special edition of My Dogs Pod. As this is also being filmed from the delivery room. Kind of exciting episode. Before I'm out of pocket over the next couple of days, my wife is going to get started on labor here pretty soon. So in the meantime, we thought while State finishes up their season, we'll go ahead and finish up this episode here. But man, so excited to get into this episode with you again. Sorry for I don't have the camera, I don't have the microphone, but we do have some of the noise. But still, man, what a regional for Mississippi State. A team that month and a half ago was dead in the water. We talked about, but all of a sudden had honestly an impressive time in Tallahassee, despite the fact that they were up against some really good competition. So we're going to get into overall that regional and the news that should be coming fairly soon for Mississippi State. Again, thank you so much for bearing with me. But hey, we want to let you know that this episode and every episode of My Dogs Pod is brought to you by our presenting sponsors, Heath Riles Barbecue. Heath Riles is home to award-winning rubs, seasonings, glazes, sauces, and marinades. Created by 2025 Memphis in May Grand Champion and 81-time barbecue Grand Champion Heath Riles. His products are trusted by pitmasters and backyard cooks alike for bold flavor and winning results. And you can look at his full lineup of products at heathrilesbarbecue.com, or you can go to one of the 15,000 retailers to get some of his products. But hey, go to heathrilesbarbecue.com and enter code DAWGS10, DAWGS 10, all one word, all capped, and get 10% off each and every time you shop there. One of the things I'm really excited about trying is it's lemon pepper buffalo seasoning. I like lemon pepper on my wings. I'm a wing fiend anyway, but I am really, really excited to try this because I love some buffalo wings and I love lemon pepper. And what's cool about Heath, man, he just has so many different types of things to go and try. I've smoked a ton of stuff today. And I was giving it out to some folks just as a thank you for taking care of my family and I over the next couple of days. So, man, love Heath Riles stuff. Make sure you go to his website and use our promo code to get some money off. And also, man, is there a button for a new sponsor alert? So excited to introduce the new sponsor for My Dogs Pod, Hovey Hats. Hovey Dry Goods actually is the exact name, but I can remember during the football season, I remember seeing these hats and thinking, man, these are so cool. Like, where do you get them? And I even saw Coach Levy wearing them. And I was like, where do you find these things? And I went everywhere. I went in Starkville. I searched all over the place, could not find them. And finally, I got turned into the fact this was Hovey. And Hovey.com is where you will find these. They have an assortment of hats. They're Mississippi State hats you cannot find anywhere else. So look, are you looking for your new favorite Mississippi State hat? Look no further. Hovey Hats has high-quality headwear that will have your friends asking about them. And look, trust me, I've had so many people reach out asking, where do you get these hats? Take a look at their collection of Mississippi State hats at HoveyDryGoods.com. Hovey offers limited edition hats created in small batches, bringing a fresh look to some of your favorite teams. So go grab your new favorite hat at HoveyDryGoods.com. Whenever you do, tag them, tag me. I'd love to see what you got. I love the different assortment of Mississippi State hats. They've got the performance ones that are like this kind of breathable material. And then they have the other ones that are a little bit more kind of traditional, but I love the kind of the athletic performance versions. So we want to thank them. Lastly, we want to thank our wonderful, well, not lastly, I want to thank our wonderful sponsors, Arpa's Coffee in the heart of the Cotton District. Arpa's understands that great food and drinks are best enjoyed in the company of friends and loved ones. Their awesome atmosphere creates a great environment. Each time you're looking for a good spot to catch up over coffee, have an amazing meal, celebrate a special occasion, or just hang out in the Cotton District, man. It's the best place to start to chill. But you can do that and you also can get 15% off whenever you mention that you're a listener of My Dogs Pod. Just say, hey, I'd love the My Dogs Pod discount, and they will give it to you each and every time you go. So make sure you stop by Arpa's, get some great coffee, get a great meal in the heart of the Cotton District. So, man, so excited for them. Look, Mississippi State is going to have a new head coach very soon, very, very soon. We're filming this at 8:30 Sunday night. When that happens, When the announcement happens, I expect it to be fairly soon. I would imagine Monday morning is whenever news would break. Maybe 9 a.m., 10 a.m. tomorrow, or yeah, Monday morning. But whoever announces the head coach, we have a good thought that it's going to be Brian O'Connor. We'll talk about that later in the show. But I imagine he's going to get a little bit of a pay raise. I imagine he might even end up being rich. But hey, what does it mean to be rich? Maybe it's less about reaching a magic number, more about discovering the magic in life. Skip Langley is your Batesville, Mississippi Edward Jones financial advisor, serving clients in the area and across the state. Count on him for financial strategies that can help you support a life you love, because the key to being rich is knowing what counts. So contact him today at 662-563-9843, and together you can find your rich. Edward Jones, member SIPC. So Mississippi State has to go in an elimination game on Sunday morning, man. So some people are getting ready to go to church. Some people are at church. Some people are singing. Some people are in Bible study. And Mississippi State is throwing their first pitch against Northeastern at 11 a.m. Central. And Northeastern, a team they beat the day before, 11-2, put up a little bit more of a fight. The pitching wasn't. State left a lot of people stranded. But Northeastern was able to move. Once they started getting on base, they were able to do kind of what they're advertised to do, and that is steal bases, advance runners. And funny enough, the thing that got them there is ultimately what gets them thrown out of there. Great effort by them, but State's able to finish them off 3-2. Evan Ciari had a great performance, man. He wasn't letting them get on base to steal pitches, to steal bags. It's one of the reasons why they're able to hold them off for such a long time. But now, he played great. And I know some people are going to say, after the performance tonight, Mississippi State falls to FSU. Well, why didn't you hold Evan Ciari? And why wouldn't you hold him for the FSU game? And I understand those things. I get the thought. But the thing is, State did not hit well in this regional. Really outside of their first game against Northeastern. Didn't hit the ball well against FSU yesterday. And ultimately, maybe the coaches just sensed, look, we're going to need a good performance. And honestly, Evan Ciari had a great performance, and State still only won by one run. And that run was in jeopardy. So I get it. Because the thing is, if you lose earlier on today, you don't even get a shot against FSU. So I understand people being frustrated with that, but State just needed to get the win. State needed to be able to get the win to advance to the next round. And they're able to do that. They beat Northeastern. Northeastern had that 27-game winning streak. We mentioned going into this week that they do a lot of things well. However, they're not a team that played a hard schedule and just didn't think they were very battle-tested. And Florida State, I'll still stick by it. Florida State's a better team than Mississippi State, most certainly. But State was more battle-tested than Florida State was. In the end, State beats Northeastern, gets an opportunity to match up 3 hours later against FSU. And Carson Ligdon honestly had a great game, as well as he could have played early on, all things considered. Defense wasn't really the main problem for State. I think in this round, I think the biggest issue for State throughout today and throughout this weekend has been on the offensive side of the ball. And one of the guys I was most surprised had a bad day was Ace Reese. And Ace Reese, he did get on base there in the I think it was the first inning. Yeah, the top of the first. And then, that was it. I think he only had 2 hits. Am I crazy? Was it 2 hits throughout the entire regional? Am I nuts? He had a really, really rough time in this game. I think it was the 5th inning. State was able to get on the second run on the board when Joe Powell was able to hit the home run and go up 2-0. And that was it. Everyone just had such a hard time. Give credit to Florida State too. Florida State, again, we mentioned it. Florida State has some phenomenal pitchers, and Mendez was he was really, really good, man. 9 Ks throughout 8 innings. Carson Ligdon again had a good game, 4 innings, 7 Ks. Luke Dotson came in there and also had 7 Ks. Really did well, but he just towards the end, he was starting to slip, and quite literally slip, not just slip on the fastball, slip literally, and fell off the pitching mound. You bring in McPherson, and McPherson is just not able to hold Florida State. And in the end, you kind of had that thought of like, okay, when's the dam gonna break? When is State no longer going to be able to hold them? And you can only hold them so long. And eventually, the dam gave, and the water came down, and that was it. And so, you hate to see that from McPherson, because he's had such a great season, especially as a freshman. But in the end, they just weren't able to keep it going. And what was it? It was 2-0 all the way until the 8th, and finally, Florida State got on the ball whenever Cal Fisher hit a two-run jack to tie the game 2-2. The next three batters struck out right then and there, 1, 2, 3, and again, State was just not able to get on the board. You thought Ace Reese, because Gabe Fryer was on first base, Ace Reese was coming to hit, and I thought, okay, well, maybe this is their time, this is their moment for Ace Reese to come out and come through, and he just couldn't. And finally, the dam broke there in the bottom of the 8th, and Mississippi State was just not able to hold Florida State. Kudos to Florida State; they're 41-14. They're one of the best teams in the nation for a reason. And that they proved it this weekend as they move on to the Super Regional. It does kind of hurt, because if State was to beat Florida State tonight and tomorrow, because of how everything was working out with Oregon State and Corvallis, State actually had a great shot to host, which no one would have thought that was possible. So you hate to see that happen. But again, State played really played as well as they could, all things considered. And you have to look back and go, man, what could have been had they been able to hold them from there. But as I mentioned, good news is on the way for Mississippi State. So we're going to cover that when we come back. Got a few messages from MPW Digital, and then we'll get to the likely soon announcement for Mississippi State. We'll be right back. You're watching My Dogs Are Barking on MPW Digital, presented by Heath Rawls Barbecue.
All MPW Digital podcasts are brought to you by our friends at Parish Brewing Company, located in the heart of Cajun country in Broussard, Louisiana. Parish Brewing Company's simple goal is to make awesome craft brewed beer, and they do it remarkably well. The doctor is introducing their new go-to IPA, Dr. Juice. It's a highly crushable juice bomb, dry hopped with a blend of their favorite hand-selected hops from the Yakima Valley in Washington. Dr. Juice's drinkability is sneaky good, considering it clocks in at 6% ABV. The pour glows a rich cantaloupe hue with a thick frosted haze, soft mouthfeel, an aroma and taste that's full of passion fruit, papaya, and blood orange, making it drink like a glass of freshly squeezed juice. They also have Ghost in the Machine. It's a double IPA brewed with obscene quantities of hand-selected Citra hops from Yakima Valley. Expect pungent grapefruit flavors and aromas, tropical fruit, less harsh bitterness than most IPAs. Again, it's Parish Brewing Company. Wherever you get your beer, check out Parish. Make sure that you look for them, because any beer that you get from Parish is going to be absolutely outstanding. Thank you from MPW
Brought to
Digital.
you by Easy Hemp Company. Easy is a hemp-infused sparkling water. It's a guilt-free alcohol alternative, a natural way to relax and unwind. It's all natural. Made with real fruit, no added sugar, low calories, gluten-free. One 12-ounce can of Easy has 3 milligrams of THC. With Easy, it's easy to avoid the gummy scare and control your experience. So change the can, not the ritual. It's easy. Visit EasyHempCo.com to view the Easy Finder to find Easy near you. Easy is Farm Bill compliant with hemp derived from THC, CBD extracts. Easy is for people 21 and older. Enjoy responsibly.
Back to My Dogs Are Barking on MPW Digital, presented by Heath Rawls Barbecue. And again, welcome back. If you're watching on video, man, we welcome you back. We're live from the labor delivery room for where my wife is in the beginning throes of starting labor. She's doing a great job. But because I'm about to be out of commission for the next couple of days, talked with her, and she gave me permission to talk through talk you through this episode after such a big season's end for Mississippi State. But we're going to talk about the big announcement that is coming for Mississippi State very, very soon. But also want to mention our brand new sponsor, Hovey Dry Goods. Check out hoveydrygoods.com to get these limited edition Mississippi State hats. I've gotten so many compliments on this hat. And I'm an ugly fellow. So for anyone to point out, like, man, that looks good on you, that's all Hovey. So we thank Hovey certainly being a new sponsor for our show. But look, it's no secret. All of the flight trackers showed that a plane took off from. This is so silly. I'm sorry. It's silly because like there's so many big things in the world and so many like important things and I get it, but it's just so funny to think people are like tracking these flights, and you know what I mean. This is not an ambassador, to France or something. This is whoever's going to be throwing, coaching up people how to play baseball in Starkville here in a couple months. So anyway, I get it though. But there was a flight that took off in Starkville a little bit before 6:00. And landed near Charlottesville, Virginia, which happens to be where the University of Virginia is, which happens to be where Brian O'Connor is living. And we're very interesting to kind of piece those things together. But look, we've said that O'Connor is going to be the guy from how everyone was reporting it over the past week. Look, we mentioned I'm not a reporter on this show. I do have a background in journalism, but I'm not covering quote unquote this. Leave that to other people, but they seem to be pointing towards O'Connor for a while. And out of all the people that we looked at, Waz out in Oregon eliminated as a one seed in their region. Clemson's head coach eliminated earlier today by Kentucky. All these other people that we thought, man, maybe this would be a good person of interest, as not done well in this postseason. And I don't think it was just contingent on that, because you have to look at the whole picture. Man, O'Connor's team's not even in a regional. However, his teams do have a lot of background of winning. And O'Connor's got a big background of winning and also building something up from the absolute ground up. And I think that's what's exciting, is that he's a guy that has shown what he can do with a little, so that he has an opportunity to potentially do something with a lot. I mean, Mississippi State has a lot of resources when it comes to baseball. And look, that's one of the things that makes people impressive. When you look at a movie that has, a $300 million budget, yeah, it better be a good movie. There better be some amazing things in there. But when you take a movie that doesn't have, a huge budget, but just has people who make it good because the actors show their real talent, that's when you say, okay, that was impressive what they did with a little. I always think about the movie Tommy Boy. It's my favorite movie of all time. But the fact of the matter is, like, what other, tandem of people could make two guys traveling around the Midwest selling brake pads like a hilarious movie? That's talent. This isn't blow up the world and save everybody from evil. And in the same way, like what Brian O'Connor has done at Virginia is take this team that was nothing, I mean, absolutely on the bottom floor, and turn them into a perennial winner and a national championship level team. And I think that's what Mississippi State fans have to be excited for going forward, is this team has a lot of ability. Under this coaching staff, and of course there are rumors all over on the pitching coach, and would he bring Mascona over from Wake Forest? Who knows if there's any validity to those truths or validity to those rumors? But it appears as if Brian O'Connor is going to be the next head coach of Mississippi State, and I think all in all, there's a lot to be excited about. Thinking about how he's built a program. You have a guy who's already won a national title coming to your team. A lot of College World Series experience. I mean, there's a lot of good things to like about Brian O'Connor coming. And if you're a Mississippi State fan, this is one of the few times State gets eliminated from a regional, talking about this season, that you can hang your head up high. Because as I mentioned in episodes past, no one expected this team to be here. No one expected this team to get this far. And now all of a sudden, State was one win away from forcing a Game 7 and playing Florida State for a chance to go to a super regional and potentially host a super regional. So now State, I mean, they played really hard. They overcame a lot of odds. Kudos to Justin Parker. Now their season ends, and they're going to have a new head coach likely tomorrow morning. And there's a lot of good momentum for the baseball team right now. You know, not all sports have that. I think I think men's basketball has some of that, going to a third straight NCAA championship, although you still couldn't get out of the first round. Football doesn't really have that. I mean, you had a really bad season. You don't end the season how you want to. Baseball ended their season, but they have a lot to build on going forward. So I'm excited to see how it all shakes out. And man, thank you guys so much for always tuning in. And again, this is a shorter episode, different episode, not ideal in terms of tech, but I thank you guys so much for your patience. Thank you so much for listening, as always, to My Dogs Are Barking on MPW Digital, presented by Heath Riles Barbecue. Make sure you subscribe to MPW Digital for all of the latest. We'll be back on Thursday to talk about where the Mississippi State program is going forward. Again, I expect an announcement very soon, and some folks flying back from Charlottesville this evening. So we will keep you posted. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. It's just at MyDawgsPod. Thank you so much for listening to My Dogs Barking, presented by Heath Riles Barbecue on MPW Digital.